In terms of the story, we have reached the end. We are at the end. Yes, we're not at the last song, but we have reached the end. There's a little bit more to go after this, but we have pretty much reached the end of the story. So here we are. Last we remember, we were in a standoff. There was Shiny and Ruby on one side, Osira with the laser ray in front of them, and behind Osira, or off to the side, I guess, to make the visual of the triangle, the X and I with their laser rays trained on Osira. What is going to happen? What is going to happen? You want to take a guess before we jump in, because I always love this part. Here's the final part of the narrative. Again, there's a little bit more on the last song. I'll give you this much. So you have that moment in the movie where everybody's stalled and kind of looking at each other like, something's got to happen, right? It doesn't seem like anyone's going to put their laser rays down. Osira, in her emotions, in her hopes and dreams and aspirations, she hears what Shiny has to say. She hears Shiny's dare. Go ahead and shoot me. So guess what she does? She goes ahead and she shoots him. Don't forget, standing next to Shiny is a robot with far advanced technology than a human being. And in that very instant, Ruby can tell what's about to happen before it happens and throws her body in the way of Shiny to save Shiny. The shot hits Ruby in the face, permanently scarring Ruby's beautiful face. And in the rush of what happens, because Osira's hand was shaking because she really didn't want to pull the trigger, the X and I rush Osira and tackle her to keep her from getting off any more shots. They certainly don't want to kill her because she's more useful to the regime alive than dead. They don't want a dead martyr on their hands. So they tackle Osira, and in the maelstrom of the moment, and of course Ruby is disabled, Shiny grabs Ruby, reels back into the open capsule. Ruby has prepared the launch for takeoff. And of course, certainly after 20 years, Shiny's very familiar with the spacecraft, pops the door closed, hits the magic button, and off they go into space. So I'll leave you with the last visual. Ruby, of course, in the ship, disabled, kind of half alive, half not alive, kind of leaning back in the co-captain's chair, looking worse for wear. And then Shiny looking forward to wherever they are going, the two of them together. And Shiny is happy because he's free. So when I say he's free from what has ailed him, his attachments, his sense of self, his attachment to his name, his attachment to what people think of him. Maybe for the first time in his life, he's free of all that. He's let it all go. Let me give you a little more information on the track Spellbinding, that there's just a little bit more narrative. And of course, he brought up the lyric, "Take me away, I'm gonna find you." Well, who is Shiny going to find? We will learn that on the next 33 podcast and the last of the series.